Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am super excited to be back. It's been a wonky few weeks between DEF CON and schedules getting a little wonky, but during that time, during DEF CON, we hit 1,000 subscribers. I am freaking pumped. Thank you for that. I'm excited. I know a lot of people do a Q&A when they hit 1,000 subs. So I asked on the community channel or community tab now that I have access to it, and you responded with yes. So I am pumped. It was really encouraging to get the responses back on the community tab. I wasn't really expecting anything. So thank you. Thank you for that. Things are going to get back to normal soon. We're going to be doing live streaming again on Saturdays. Gulo, Gowrie, and Gator, all of the schedules got a little funky, but we're going to be getting back together soon. With that, let's jump in. Why did you start a YouTube channel? Ooh, that's actually a really good one because it's changed. When I started my YouTube channel, it was more as a training thing. What is the difference between a white box test and a black box test? How to scope a penetration test, and it was highly technical. And then after a few videos, I made the DEF CON urinal cake badge hacking or badge forgery video, and it was really fun to video. It had Gulo and Gowrie in their element. I got to talk about them, and it started me realizing I could use this channel, could use YouTube as a way to connect with the hacker community, like DEF CON. Like for me, DEF CON is a big chunk of my year in life, and I have so much to thank there. And I wanted that to continue throughout the year, and I can go to other conferences, but it's a way where I get to connect with you. And I didn't expect that with YouTube. I thought it was a very much one-way thing. I make a video, I send it out there, and people watch it and get like education. And it's turned more into making fun videos, talking with people, interacting. And I'm loving the live streams. I've even said it on the live streams. It's a little bit of a shameless excuse to hang out with the hacker community. So that's why I started it was training, but while I'm continuing it is to hang out with you. How old were you when you started hacking? Ooh, this is also a really good one. Hacking is such a general term. It's not, I think a lot of thinking goes, oh, it's a technical hack. So I'll give you two stories. First is I think when I started developing the hacker mindset when I was a really little kid, probably 7 or 8 years old, I always loved puzzles, riddles, anything which really made your brain churn. My father worked at the utility, so I'd always bring home junk hardware, and I would rip it apart, figure out how it worked. And then when I was old enough and video games became a little bit more commonplace, I had Nintendo and Sega, but I didn't really get really heavy into it till Halo. And Halo had networking play, and I remember anyone who was around that time, you would link up a bunch of Xboxes together and you'd play with 16 people, like Blood Gulch, Capture the Flag. Oh, it was awesome. And at one point, there was a way of hooking your Xbox up through XB Connect or GameSpy Arcade, which requires some extra networking that you had to do. And then as you learn that networking, you started learning how you can manipulate the network and do standby attacks and hacking to help start manipulating the game. And that's where I started shifting into security. I started learning, I can modify parts of the network, I can modify parts of the game. I got into video game hacking. Unreal Tournament 2004 was one of the first hacks I actually did to DOS servers. And it, again, not really the best place to start with hacking, but learned on that offensive side. So that's kind of the first technical ones. The first technical one I did was, it would have probably been around age 11 or 12, where you could forge emails through SMTP. So I found out my ISP had a open SMTP server, and you were able to send email on behalf of other people through the ISP. Not the best. Again, this was theoretical, of course, but that was my first hacking. That's how I started, though. What is something weird about you? Oh goodness, I have lots of weird ones. You know what? A good one would be hobbies. So it's actually, I want to say it's weird. It might not be that weird. Is a lot of hobbies kind of are systemic across the hacker communities, but one which goes a little bit beyond that is magic. So I got into sleight of hand magic when I was a kid, and I kept doing it. And I guess I was paid for it. So I did parties and businesses, and I did a couple restaurant engagements, like where it was like a rehearsal dinner. And I was paid for it, and that was really fun. It was a job I had throughout high school doing magic tricks, and it's still to this day. For a long time, I teach kids how to do magic tricks up at a camp, and that was a blast. So that's probably a little bit weird. I still do juggling. I like contact juggling, but sleight of hand, probably a little weird for me. Oh, DEF CON question. Am I gooning again next year for DEF CON 30? Yes. Yes, I am. I was asked back. I am pumped about it. I'm counting down the days. I think AST Cell said it best is from now to the end of the year, you focus and smile on the con that just happened, and start January 1st, you start looking forward to the next one, and that's what I plan on doing. If you're going this next year, again, praying everything just happens. We get to see each other. If not, I'll be pushing out videos online, or you can go Insight and still watch them. But I'm gooning. Are you doing YouTube for the money? No, I am most definitely not doing YouTube for the money. My channel's not monetized. I earn $0, and I'm definitely in the negative because of the equipment. But I don't care. It's a hobby. I'm having a blast doing it, and I've met some pretty amazing people. How do you stay caffeinated? With copious amounts of coffee, and then once in a while, Monster. A little bit of a guilty pleasure on that one. How much coffee do you drink? Probably about 4 cups a day. And again, it's like 10 o'clock at night right now, so I haven't drinking any in a while, but I would drink coffee even if it wasn't for the caffeine. I love the taste of coffee. Good coffee. It's a beautiful thing. What is your favorite coffee? This is easy. Ethiopian, Yirgacheffe, natural processed. If you can find this type of coffee, if you're not a coffee drinker, go find Ethiopian Yirgacheffe natural process light roast. It has to be light roast. It doesn't matter what coffee you get dark roast. It doesn't matter where the region is from, Guatemala, Sumatra. Once it goes dark enough, like once it gets close to charcoal, like an Italian roast, it all tastes the same. So Ethiopian Yirgacheffe light roast, you get those like great berry tastes. You start getting like lemon and lime. You get some weird, crazy flavors from them. So even if you're not a coffee drinker, Ethiopian Yirgacheffe, it's a beautiful thing. What are your favorite books? It would be fiction books for me. While I read like technical things, I don't read nonfiction and technical things. It tends to be online, because unless it's on like things like mindset, by the time it's created, published, drafted, reviewed, edited, and published, the information's old. So if it's highly technical, go online. For fiction though, I have a sweet spot in my heart for Daniel Suarez's Damon. If you haven't read it, if you're a hacker, if you're just interested in computers or sci-fi, it's a beautiful, awesome book. I think like my first video I ever did on my YouTube channel was on the book Damon, and I kind of just skimmed over it. I can't even say it is an excellent, excellent book. Actually, really anything by Daniel Suarez. I'm reading Wheel of Time, or actually I'm listening to it as I fall asleep. And Name of the Wind. Patrick Rothfuss, you're a beautiful man. Please keep writing. We need more of you in our lives. But yeah, a lot of fiction books, a lot of fantasy. Just love fantasy books. What are your favorite films, TV? Actually, this is a nostalgia one. When my sick movie, when I would go home from school, I would go over to my grandparents and I would watch Princess Bride. And while it's not like a crazy thriller or anything like that, it's not recent, I still watch it. I still have the whole movie memorized. It's just a great movie. More modern, not really all that modern, like 1995 movie Hackers. It's a fan favorite. I like it. It's one of the first technical, it's not really a technical movie, but it's just it's a shameless enjoyment, and Penn Jillette is just hilarious that he's in that movie. Everyone really is amazing. It's Angelina Jolie when she's a teenager. What's not to love about the movie? Recently though, TV, I don't watch a ton of TV, but I have gotten caught up with Ted Lasso. It is just it is, I think it's on Apple TV. It is the most feel-good TV show, and it delivers on exactly what you want to. It doesn't most movies bring you up to that edge and then just don't deliver to play with your emotions. They bring you to that, and it just Oh, it's so good. There's so many scenes which just make you so happy. Like give you like that like, oh, it's so good. Aren't hackers supposed to be private and security paranoid? Yes. It's more like a statement. I'm guessing this one has more to do with why my channel has my name. Actually, this was a weird one for me. When I first made my channel, I was thinking about a handle. I was thinking about like hacker hangouts. And then I realized I wasn't sure where my channel would go. So I named it after my name because it's my channel. And I'm not sure where I'll bring the content, but it's something I want to continue for a long time. When I did it, like, I guess I attached my face to my name, but I own a company, so my address is already out there, my information is already out there, my phone number is listed, I think, on the company website. It's not like hidden. So more I thought about, actually Gowrie kind of even encouraged me in this. I was actually pretty nervous about it early on, like, oh my goodness, what happens if I put my name out there? Because I was not heavy in social media. I switched over my Twitter to my real name. And it was a little worrisome at first, but then as time went on, I started realizing like it's already out there, and it's cooler to be known by your name. And I guess at DEF CON everyone knows me by my handle Silk, so that was cool too. Like you know what? Yeah, I get the paranoid thing, but when I actually started thinking about it, and as time goes on, I'm worried less and less. Best pentest hacking incident of your life. Oh, there's some really good ones. You know what? I got a couple. I know this video is going way too long. Probably the first one is me and the people I lived with, and this is all public. The school like awarded us. We hacked our university and we got credit for that. That was one of my favorites. Second one is at one of my early employers, which had millions of systems online. Don't OSINT this to, you'd probably figure out who I worked for, but they pushed out a piece of software that would push out updates across the enterprise. And the way they worked is you would push an update to a couple systems. Those systems would then host the patch for others to pull down. It worked very similar to like a torrent network. And we researched it and we did some security testing on it. And we found it was vulnerable to like a 101 buffer overflow. Like it would stand up a web server. If you did git/AAAAA, it was like a perfect EIP overwrite, take control, full remote code execution, because the service had to run as administrator or system. You gain full control of all the systems. So we asked the question, like after we found out, we called the IT department, said, hey, you need to pull this thing back. You need to remove it. And this was before video conference, so we couldn't see their face. But the call just, I remember, it's like 10 years ago. The call went dead quiet. How many systems have we installed this on at this point? 425,000 systems. all exploitable. They introduced the backdoor on like 500,000 systems. So the company was really good. They patched it really fast, pushed it out. But that was a big one. The last one, again, this video is going way too long. The last one, this has happened so many times over the past 15 years. And it has happened where we've done a penetration test from the external side of the network. And the reason why I think this is the coolest one is because it's not the heavy technical exploits which impress people, or at least for me, it don't. It's not like, oh, we bounced a laser off the moon and it hit this server through the window and it interacted through infrared to read the whatever it is. It's when we did a penetration test and we found a default password. Like, the password was the name of the company with a group inbox, so it bypassed two-factor. And if you're, by the way, if you're a client hearing this going, oh my goodness, this was my network. No, this has been like 15 to 25 times over the course of my career. Like, it's so weirdly common. And it's always funny. You find one of these, you find the vulnerable password, you log into the group inbox account, they use a VPN, two factors over email, so you like log straight onto the internal network, then you find out like this user has a lot more access than they should. But what's always amazing is writing up the report. And they go into it saying, oh, this is advanced hacking. This is a red team. It's going to be this incredible exploit. Step 1. We tried 3 passwords against 4 accounts that we found through Google. We logged in. We then used that account to log into the VPN. We then used that to log in to one of your servers. We dumped credentials and owned the domain controller. Like 4 steps. Oh, well, this must require a degree in expertise. It's like, no, like an 8-year-old could do this. A 7-year-old could do this. Like those ones, all right, maybe not the most technical, but those ones I think are always my favorite hacking, my best incidents, because they're always just mind-blowing that even all this time, it still happens often on networks. Like there's always passwords. If you work in a big company, I guarantee there's a couple skeletons in the closet with passwords that are very weak because it's really hard to get rid of them all, especially like service level accounts. Last question, tell me something I don't know. I don't know if this is coffee or security or hacking related. I'm gonna go with coffee because I know a really good one. One, personally, I have 200 pounds of coffee in my house at any given time. But the thing you don't know is most people have never had non-stale coffee. Coffee does expire. It's called the 15-15-15 rule, sometimes called the 12-12-12. It's that when coffee is pulled and dried, so when the cherry's pulled, the seed's separated, the bean is dried, it's supposed to be used within 15 months or it's considered textbook stale. Usually that happens with a roaster. But after it's roasted, it's supposed to be used within 15 days, or it's considered textbook stale. And after it's ground, it's supposed to be used within 15 minutes, or it's considered textbook stale. What's so cool about this one is by the time, like if you go to a major, like Meijer, Target, Costco, by the time you buy that coffee, it takes longer than 15 days for it to be roasted, packaged, shipped, processed, put out on the shelf, grabbed, brought home, and used, which means most people drink stale coffee. So unless you drink it from like a local roastery, it's stale. That is it for all the questions I got. Thank you so much. If you have other ones, drop them as a comment down below. It is super late at this point. So as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for getting me to 1,000 subs. I appreciate it. And as always, hack on.